Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 20th of April 2022. I don't know if you've seen the latest Hugo Talks video, or one of his latest ones, where he's talking about a video that he's seen from a channel called 7 Grains of Salt. And he's obviously watched that, looked into things a bit himself as well, and then made his own video on the findings that he's made and this 7 Grains of Salt have made as well. And what they're basically doing is calling out pretty much all or a lot of these people that we on this side of the narrative have come to see as, I don't know, role models, leaders, people to look up to, whatever you might want to term it as. Most of them are doctors, some of them are other professions, such as lawyers and media personalities, this kind of thing, but they're all sort of apparently at least very much on our side of the narrative, calling out things like lockdowns, Big V and all of that kind of thing. And I'm not going to mention any names, but Hugo Talks kind of calls out a lot of them, and he sort of says, as does this 7 Grains of Salt video, how they're kind of linked in with certain things which are starting to get very, very similar to New World Order stuff, really. And I don't know, for quite a long time now, I've been hearing this term of controlled opposition, and I've not really known who is controlled opposition, who isn't. I've kind of just tended to look upon people who, if they're saying they're on our side of the narrative and they're putting the word out there, sort of dropping truth bombs, up to now that's been kind of good enough for me. But the point that I'm not sure if it was the Hugo Talks video or I think it might have been the 7 Grains of Salt video, but they had a quote from Lenin himself, who said the best way to control the opposition is to lead it, and which makes a lot of sense. If the powers that shouldn't be want to control the opposition, what better way would there to be but to sort of create these controlled opposition type people and have them lead the movement. And that would be a very good way of doing it. I'm not saying that I personally believe everything that Hugo Talks and this other channel are talking about, and that all the people they call out are sort of guilty of being controlled opposition. It may well just be that they want to earn a little bit of money, especially if they've lost livelihoods. They've been kicked out of the medical profession, or sort of been sacked as journalists or whatever. They may well be wanting to sort of make money, as well as putting the word out about our kind of side of the narrative, and they're just looking at any way that they can sort of do that. So the sort of nefarious routes that Hugo talks about in his video, and might not be adhered to by all of these people, or indeed any of them. It might just be something as simple as they're just trying to earn a crust, really, or sort of doing whatever they can to put the narrative out. But they're very, very interesting videos, and I think this whole controlled opposition thing is it is something that's designed to sow confusion, etc. And I'm not really sure even whether you should sort of call into question sort of the likes of Hugo Talks, etc. Okay, you know, the guy comes across as pretty trustworthy, but you get these people who call out shills or controlled opposition, call people controlled opposition, and is it the so-called controlled opposition you have to look out for, or is it the people calling them out you have to look out for? And who knows? I'm not sort of saying that that's what Hugo Talks is doing, and he seems to be in it for the right reasons, but I think what you have to learn from things like this is really to sort of not take anything or anyone at face value. I've not really been a big one for kind of, well, hero worship, or whatever you want to call it. You know, you get these big names who pop up, and or people who have become big names in the last 2 years, and I'm not really one to support people like that and go, oh, they're fantastic, you know, I worship the sort of ground they walk on. I'm not really that kind of person anyway, but I know a lot of people are, especially in these troubled times. You're looking out for someone you can look up to, or a group of people you can look up to, but I guess the message that I'm getting from this Hugo Talks video is really you've got to take everything with a grain of salt, pinch of salt, and not be overly trusting of any of these sort of big name type people. And that is why I've kind of gone away a little bit from recommending that kind of thing anyway, and I still do it here and there, but I've kind of, as you probably realised in recent weeks, I'm focusing more on practical solutions, real world things that you can do to sort of sort the problems that we're facing out. These private trusts, local food production, local networks, things like cultivating your stand in the park contacts or whatever other kind of contact like that you've got, growing those, strengthening those, coming up with local solutions that you and the people you're networking with can do, rather than relying on someone to come in on a sort of a big white charger horse, and a sort of suit of armour and a big sword, hoping to save you, because I don't think that's going to happen. It's down to us. We've really got to look out for ourselves, and that's why I think these, building up your networks, building up sort of a trusted group of people who you can sort of turn to and work on local projects together with is really, I think, the way forward. And ideally, that should be done on a leaderless kind of principle. I'm very much against having any kind of leader at all. And again, I think these people who pop up, the sort of people I'm talking about, these sort of doctors, etc. They kind of pop up along the way, here and there over the last 18 months, 2 years, and before you know it, they're kind of quite big names in our community and sort of leaders to look up to almost. And I don't think that's really the right way to go. Sort of having a local network, if you can possibly find one and build it up, and just relying on each other but without having anyone as an actual leader of that group, I think is the way to go. Anyway, there's just a few thoughts there. Just let them come tumbling out of my head, as is my way. I'm not saying that any of them are right. I know, I'm sure many people watching this are going to have their own opinions on obviously what I've said, and also this Hugo Talks video, and the 7 grains of salt one as well. The 7 grains one is actually on this platform, so I can leave a link in the description box and the comment section below, which I'll sort of pin. The Hugo Talks one isn't on this platform, but I will put it on my website. Then you can sort of go through to my website, which is going to be on fairplaynow.net/must, and just, you know, I'll put a link to that in the description box below as well, and then you can go through that to my site, and then you'll see the first big red button at the top of the page will take you through to this Hugo Talks video that I'm talking about. But both of them are worth watching. The 7 grains one's only about 10 minutes long, I think it was. The Hugo Talks is quite a long one for him, about half an hour long, but both well worth watching. And yeah, I'd sort of be very interested in seeing what your opinions are in the comment section below. So a little bit of a contentious one, I know. And it just goes to show you, because I think you'll be very surprised at some of the names that Hugo Talks is kind of calling out. And yeah, so you'll be very surprised, maybe even a little bit disappointed. But yeah, see what you think, and, you know, sort of leave a comment in the comment section below. So I'll leave it there for now. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.